This week's show brought to you by Frank Shoup, Georgetown's big name in cars. Georgetown Advantage Air, now locally owned and operated by Gene Thompson. Welcome, everybody, to the Scott County Cardinals Boys Basketball Coaches Show. We're here with Coach Billy Hicks and this week's special guest, student assistant Taylor Berryman, and we're here to talk about the Cardinals week that was. First of all, it was a busy week with 3 games all on the road, and that's a unique challenge in itself.
That is. I didn't realize how tough it was, Cal, to finally last night. We're playing Lacey Catholic in a big rivalry game, and God, we just didn't have it. I think we were emotionally drained, physically drained, or what, but we didn't. It certainly didn't have the energy that it takes to beat Catholic on the home floor. And but it was a good. I think we picked up a big win at LCA, who is one of the top 4 teams in our region on the road, and beat the top team in the 14th region. Knott County Central had a convincing win over them. So it really did, and a good win over a very well-coached, tough Powell County team. So we'd had a big week, but then this got off to a rough start last night. We just didn't. I don't know whether the winning made us not ready, but something. But we weren't quite ready last night, and therefore, lost to the rival Lexington Catholic on the road last night.
What did you see? What was your perspective? You're around the team a lot, going into that game and watching it. What was different about last night?
Lack of intensity. We just need to work harder and show that we really want it more than.
It's tough. It's tough to keep that intensity, I would think, when you play game, practice, game, day off, and then you're coming back early the next week with another big game like that. That's nothing unusual, though. The schedule's often like that.
Right. It's something that players have been dealing with since they've been in middle school. Cal, they've got to get ready for games every week, and it's not like you're fighting fire. It's basketball. It's a lot of fun, and so you got to get ready to play. And a lot of that comes with leadership, and a lot of it comes with the maturity that you got to have to do that. And I still like our team. I still think, like I told our guys, they felt bad last night. They were really hurt in the locker room, and it's not the last game of the season. It's actually the beginning of the season. We've got a lot of games to play, and sometimes it shouldn't, but sometimes it takes a loss to open your eyes, and finally you can start making the changes that need to be made and working on things that need to be worked on to make us stronger.
And you all knew you weren't going undefeated, right? I mean, that's just not a likely thing.
You want to, but I think in the last 50 years, there's only been one Kentucky team that's been undefeated in the state of Kentucky, and that was our 2017. We went 30-0 in the state of Kentucky. We lost to number 1 team in Florida and should have beat them. Then we split with Huntington with O.J. Mayo on them. They were ranked number 1 in the country. We beat them here, and they beat us at their place. So we split with them, but we did go 30-0 in the state of Kentucky. That's the first time since Burrs back in the 1930s, probably. So it's actually 60 or 70 years now. Way times like that. But it's hard to do in Kentucky. But you've got to learn from it, Cal. You got to hope you learn from those things. And now our guys know when we talk about finishing stronger. We missed at least 8 to 10 layups last night. And we missed 7 free throws, 7 out of 14 free throws, and got out rebounded by 2. And we shouldn't. Those 3 things.
Those are things that never happen.
Right? It should never happen.
It seems like all these games, there's been a feeling out process. Is that just because you always get the other team's best shot? Let's face it, nobody likes to lose to Scott County. So no matter who they are, what the circumstances, they're going to come out that first quarter gunning for you.
Tell me what you think about that. Scott County, how do other students, other places look at Scott County?
They don't like us.
Why do you think that is? I mean, I've asked the football players this, and I've asked some of the basketball players this. Is it just a neighbor thing? That you're the team to the north, and you're the team that's kind of out in the country a little bit, especially for the Lexington teams? Or
we're just a great program, and everybody wants to beat us because we're always going to be good. There's not going to be a time we're not good.
That's part of it, isn't it? No matter what school, what state, what sport we're talking about, if you're good all the time, people aren't going to like you.
Well, actually, over the last 23 years, since we've been here, we've won more games than anybody. We've been winning this program in the state. more state tournaments, more state tournament games, and more games. So I guess, everybody, it's sort of a measure stick. If you beat Scott County, and of course Lexington Catholic, I said last week, it's been tough for either of us to win 2 games in a row in this series, and it's almost dead even. We may be 1 ahead now or something, but it's almost dead even, our series with them. And they also are tradition rich and have had a lot of great teams, a lot of great players down in the past, and that's made it very tough. But I think everybody respects Scott County, but it's also a team that you want to beat.
Mm-hmm. I could tell the way you were talking up that game last week, and we had Michael Marino as our guest, and the way he spoke about Catholic, no matter what the record is, they're a team to be taken seriously.
And they've had some tough luck of late. They're going to be a top 10 team in the state of Kentucky. When it's all said and done, they'll be sitting out there in the top 10 in the state, and as they always are. And so, we're going to be. I'm not ready to go out and jump off the courthouse or anything because we won loss. Obviously, we didn't want to lose, but we're going to be a good basketball team, and it's up to me to. And that's the disappointing thing about last night is, we haven't been doing very good against the press in practice, Cal. We haven't been turning the ball over. We've just been having trouble scoring and finishing against the press because our 2 leading scorers, Michael and Cooper Rob, are back up the floor beating the press. Our finishes on the other end haven't been what we thought they would be yet. So they're going to be good, but we got to give them a little more help up there. So that's the things that we got to do to get better against the press. But that's why you got to play these games, and you got to learn it early. You don't want to wait till into February to learn it. You got to learn it now.
And there are no secrets in this day and age. Film is out there. Everybody's scouting everybody else's games. Everybody knows who Scott County's big guns are, and everybody probably has been able to tell from the first 4 games that some of the other guys are struggling a little bit to find the range. You and I have talked about that transition from football to basketball still hasn't quite happened yet for some of those guys.
Oh, and this is the first time I've ever had this many football players at one time play basketball in my coaching career. It spans 40 years. And I've never had this many. So, and they went deep in the playoffs. So we haven't had these guys very long. And then Landon Easley, he got a sprained ankle coming out of football. Cooper Rob's got fluid on his knee coming out of football, and Cooper Watts had a broke leg during football. So it's been tough, and Cooper has been struggling because he's not like he was this summer, and he's not like he was last year yet. Now I'm hoping he's going to be better than that. But coming over that broken leg and coming out of football, it's been tough on him, and it's hard to see because he's not the player that he was or the player he can be. But we just got to get some more practices in, and nobody's gonna feel sorry for you, Cal. We got to be ready to go Friday night because Lafayette's got a very good basketball team.
Yeah, let's talk about that a little bit because that's another rivalry. It's 2 schools, and no matter what the sport, probably don't like each other, and like to play each other a lot, and like to beat one another. But what do they bring on the basketball side?
Well, they're Lexington Catholic. West, I guess they're west of Lexington Catholic. Lafayette is not
pretty much
as a crow flies about 200-300 yards. Yeah. But cause the Mendenhalls that coach the team, Mike Mendenhall, Michael the coach, and his dad Mike is with him. Well, Mike was a really good player at Lexington Catholic. His dad was a long-time coach there. That was partly played a big role in developing the Lexington Catholic program. All the basketball people around Central Kentucky and Kentucky really respect Michael Mendenhall, the boy and the father. The father was a heck of a coach, and they brought Lexington Catholic's program, which really started with Danny Haney when Danny Haney was there, and they brought their program to Lafayette. So they're going to press. They're going to get out opinion, just press the heck out of you. If they get open to 3, they're going to nail it. So and they're going to be tough to guard. They're not very big this year. They lost their 2 big players, but they've got some 6'3s and 6'4s and some very athletic 6'1s and 6-footers. But Lafayette, when it's all said and done, we'll be right there in the mix of this region.
Taylor, there haven't been many home games yet. It's going to be exciting to think about playing at home again at the end of this week. How is it different? Just you're around the team a lot. I mean, is it just a different approach? Is it different mentally when you're at home? Do you get in a different routine?
Well, having the home fans always helps, and it's just being home always helps. Like just the home surrounding. It feels it better without the opposing fans yelling at you and whatnot.
Yeah, you guys have had some, I want to say hostile environments, but some loud environments here early in the season.
Yeah, it'll be good to be home. Just to travel, okay, I have to get out of school and eat, hop on a bus and go. You know, we're not flying in jets. We're hopping in that big yellow buses. But doing that, it's tough. Then going on the road and doing this thing, it's fun. It's fun going
That trip to Breathitt County was not a short trip. That was my first experience going down there.
Down the mountains. Well, you saw some mountains like you see in the
other side of the world, yeah.
Again,
like you said.
Again, it's really fun to go there. Appalachian mountain people are I've been all around the world, the finest people in the world. They're really friendly and nice, and it really is always fun to go up there, and you have tough kids. It's tough kids. Mountain basketball is down a little bit what it used to be, but there's still a pride there that they all call mountain strong. You know, you better get ready when you go up there.
Let's talk a little bit about the role of that you perform as a student assistant. You said manager, and Coach quickly corrected you. He said, no, he's a student assistant. But what? It's probably not an easy job, is it?
It's a lot. It's definitely a lot.
What goes into it all?
Just a lot of time.
Yeah.
You gotta be able to be here an hour early.
The first one here and the last one leave, probably.
You gotta get the water ready. You gotta get all the jerseys hung up and make sure they're washed and dried, and plenty of other stuff. You gotta keep the clock during practice. Sometimes even during JV games and freshman games, you have to help. And then we gotta record during the varsity and JV games, but there's plenty more to it. There's a lot of extra time put into it.
Is that something you've done for a long time? Does that go back? You said
Since freshman year, yeah.
And he plans on doing it in the future. I think he's
there's always a need for that at the college level, for sure.
Taylor visited Western. He's also looking at the University of Kentucky to keep following the role he's doing now, and he's very good at it. Very good at it. And as I said, Cal, he's my right arm. There's very seldom goes by that we don't text or talk in some way. He needs me to do something, I need him to do something. Most times it's me needing him to do something. But Taylor has been, he's really been really good, and I hate to think about next year. I'm going to replace him.
You're gonna say you get into a rhythm with the same person. It's just like having the same players for 4 years at a time, and then it's like, what do I do? Now, do you have others that kind of come along and learn the ropes from him so that they can?
Yeah, he's supposed to be training boys. He's supposed to be getting one ready.
I've got one ready, but he won't be here for long.
Yeah, it's a lot of things that you probably take for granted, right, to get done.
Oh, it is. Taylor, we just show up every day, Cal, everything's ready. I don't even have to ask him no more. Not only uniforms, the drinks, everything's ready to go. And the players respect Taylor so much too. And Taylor also is in charge of designing and picking our travel uniforms, our shoes, because he communicates with the players and shows them what we got and gets their advice on it. I had no input on that. And so Taylor, I left it to him. I said, Taylor, find us some good travel suits and warm-ups and all that stuff. So, but he does all that, and so I say he wears a lot of hats, and he's very valuable to us. I wish somebody could redshirt him and keep him another year, but I'm sure his mom and dad want him to get on to college.
Well, thank you, Taylor, and thank you, Coach. We'll be back next week to talk about the Lafayette game and a couple of games beyond that, leading up to the Christmas break and the trip to Myrtle Beach. Until next time, for Coach, for Taylor, I'm Cal. See you on the sidelines.